Welcome to Vegas Circle with Paki and Chris, and today in the circle we got Miss Stacey, local business owner and killing it here, gourmet chef, nutritionist. Got one of the hottest restaurants here in Vegas, downtown.
Thank you very much.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yes, tell us more about yourself.
Okay, so the name of the restaurant is Simply Pure. We are a 100% plant-based restaurant located in downtown Container Park in Las Vegas, and we've been open a little over 5 years. We're 100% minority and woman-owned, and we're doing it.
I don't think anybody's doing that. So you said 100% minority-owned and
woman-owned.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
And 100% plant-based.
Oh, wow. How is it to get it in the downtown Container Park? Is that hard to get?
It wasn't hard. So like that, then we'll delve into some of the background.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Before I actually got that place, I was cooking at the Ogden. I was doing catering jobs at the Ogden under the umbrella of Tony Hsieh's Downtown Project.
Of course,
and
yeah.
so he had, like, under the umbrella of the Downtown Project were a lot of other businesses, and so those companies would call us to do catering jobs in his apartment in the Ogden. And so we were doing that for about a year and a half. And so when the Container Park when they started constructing that, then they actually just reached out and asked us if we wanted to open up something.
How long has Container Park been open now?
5 years. We were day ones. Yeah, we're day one. So we were there. We started December 2013 is when it opened. December 2013.
Okay.
So
and it's been booming since, because that whole area, it was super rough before.
It was.
And now it's just amazing to see, what they've done.
The transition, right? Absolutely. Yeah, it's been interesting just to see, like, Container Park and whole downtown transform from this really seedy place to a place where people come now and hang out, and families come, and kids. And
the Container Park was a big aspect of that too.
Huge aspect. I think Container Park was the biggest draw, because there was a lot of attention on Container Park when it first opened, and still is. Like, people still come and they're still fascinated at, like, the fact that the whole place is made out of repurposed shipping containers.
Yeah, that's pretty different.
So it's pretty dope. Yeah.
Are you originally from Vegas?
I'm not originally from Vegas. Originally from Detroit.
Oh,
Yay.
nice.
As you are too, Chris.
Yeah.
So originally from Detroit, and moved to Vegas when I was going into high school, and stayed here for 4 years, and then moved to Atlanta, and then moved around, did some things, and I've been back here in Vegas for about 9 years now. So prior to opening the restaurant, I worked at the Wynn as a chef for a couple of years. And I was really just trying to get in because I heard that Steve Wynn was going vegan, and I was like trying to, because I've always been an entrepreneur, so whenever I can avoid getting a job, I do. But so I had this whole proposal that I was trying to give to the Wynn, telling them that I was this vegan chef, nutritionist, and that I could teach their employees how to cook vegan or whatever the case may be. But they were like, "Who are you, little girl?" Basically. And so I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just get a job there. I can use a few ends, and I wanted to get that training underneath my belt, that fine dining, high-end training, and I thought that would be a good
perfect place for it too.
Right.
That's a 5-star.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not this is the thing, I didn't go to culinary school, and I'm actually anti-culinary school, because I learned how to cook just like by working in restaurants. I'm like, instead of paying somebody to teach you how to cook, just have somebody pay you to teach you how to cook. Like, that makes more sense, right?
It's real. That's real.
For real. So that's what I did. I just paid somebody to teach me how to cook.
Have you been to cooking straight out of the gates? Was that your first job was in?
No, actually, my background is in the music industry. So
that's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference. So just to give you like a brief background, I was in the music industry right out of college. I landed a job at Universal Music Group, and so I was doing artist development for Universal Music Group. So I was like an executive in Atlanta. And at the same time, there were some friends at the time, who approached me about opening a vegan restaurant. And at that time, this was in Atlanta, and at that time I was going vegan. I was transitioning my diet, and this was almost 18 years ago. And I got that position at the label pretty young. And so I invested. I was making money at the label. I had an unlimited American Express card. I was balling out. I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids.
Had
I was like,
go
ahead, just put the, so we did some things with that card, and we opened it up. We got it cracking. Unfortunately, it was a great business, but it didn't last because my business partners just weren't the people that I thought they were in the beginning. Definitely. But it was good training for me. You find that out a lot,
especially in the music industry.
Yeah, in the music industry. Well, they weren't in the music industry. They were in the food, and they were the ones who asked me about opening the restaurant. So I used my money to open the restaurant.
You mentioned you actually went vegan 18 years ago, or you?
18 years ago when I
made you do
started.
that? Yeah.
I was starting to go vegan, and we opened the restaurant at the same time.
So what made you transition to vegan?
So going back to like elementary school in Detroit, I went to a school called Nataki Taliba, which is like a West African-based school from kindergarten to 8th grade, and they serve vegetarian lunches. So that's all I really knew. And then in addition to that, I just never liked meat. Never, even growing up, I never really liked hot dogs. And so when my parents sent me to that school and they served vegetarian lunches, they would serve like veggie dogs. And this was like in the 80s. And I loved it, and so I just I've always been a healthy eater. I wasn't always vegan, like I would eat chicken and things like that. But when I was working at the label and I was transitioning my diet over, and on top of that, I was opening the vegan restaurant and being exposed to so many different things, and I was learning how to cook, and it was just kind of like an all-at-one-time thing. And so that's why my transition was probably a little easier than some people's, but then again, I was running a restaurant at the same time, so maybe not.
Are you still going strong as a vegan? 18 years
I'm
later?
not. So actually, and I tell people this.
You said you're not?
I'm not vegan anymore. No.
Okay.
So I'm still plant-based mostly. I do eat fish. So so I let people know that I incorporated fish back in my diet about 5 years ago. I became
What kind of fish
pregnant.
are you eating? Yeah.
Salmon mostly.
Okay, yeah.
Every now and then I'll get like some kind of white flaky fish, but that's just what my body craves, so that's why I eat it. But I don't eat chicken or beef or pork or even shrimp, any other seafood. But I like fish every now and then the rest of my diet is plant-based. And I started eating fish. I incorporated fish back in my diet 5 years ago when I got pregnant with my son. I have a 4-year-old. So
It's so hard, it seems like, to be vegan, and besides your restaurant things, that to be able to go and be able to keep that lifestyle. Isn't it hard to
That's a good question.
Like that,
no, actually, well, to me it's not, because I've been doing this a long time, so I have to.
That's why I'm curious how you were able to do it. You know what I mean?
So 18 years ago, it took me about a year and a half to transition off everything. So I didn't quit all of a sudden and just say that I was going to be vegan. I took one step at a time. So first it was eliminating chicken and beef and pork, which was really easy, and then I was on fish and cheese and dairy for a while, and then I eliminated dairy, then fish, and I don't remember what order, but and then I was starting to find substitutes, because remember at that time I was learning how to cook as well. So I was learning how to make macaroni and cheese. I was learning how to make burgers. I was from scratch, from plants, because back then we didn't have Whole Foods and Sprouts and Trader Joe's. I had to learn how to make food from actual plants, which is why when you come to Simply Pure, you'll notice that our food is a little different, because we make all of our things, mostly, I shouldn't say all of it, but mostly all of our products come from our kitchen, where we actually are transforming plants and making them into really great food.
That's pretty cool. You were actually vegan for a while too.
Not vegan. Vegan is the hard one.
Okay. What were you?
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian. So you're eating some seafood or
pretty much, a lot of cheese, a lot lot of cheese pizza, basically.
Oh, okay.
For the majority of my diet.
You're a cheese pizza.
The hardest part is
I'm so inspired how you've been able to do it, because I tried to make a change maybe about 2 years ago. I can't do the vegan.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Just because it's hard. When you're going out, when you're running, you got kids. So you have one son.
Kid,
But it's when you're going out or you're going to a restaurant and things like that. It's nice to have restaurants like yours where you can go and be able to enjoy it.
Right.
But what do you do when you're at other restaurants?
I really, first of all, Vegas is amazing for vegan food, not just because there are a lot of vegan restaurants here, but because I actually don't eat at a lot of vegan restaurants, and that's not because I don't want to, it's just because I don't live near any of them, and it's not in my direct area of my lifestyle, my everyday lifestyle. If it's not near my son's school, near my house, near Simply Pure, near our prep kitchen, I'm probably not going to eat there. But there's a few restaurants like Sweet Tomatoes. Have you heard of?
I love
Sweet Tomatoes.
I love Sweet Tomatoes. That's one of my favorites. There's Thai restaurants. I usually go for ethnic restaurants because I can usually find something on the menu. So anything Thai, Japanese,
and the flavors
the flavors are I mean Ethiopian, Mediterranean. These are you won't catch me going to a steakhouse, because I'm not gonna find anything there. I'm gonna go to usually places that can accommodate our places that are international places. So just stick with that, and you'll be good. And then that's another thing I was gonna say. You don't have to be vegan all at one time. I just tell people, take one day at a time. Take Monday, maybe do a meatless Monday, and then just say, okay, on Mondays I'm not going to eat meat. I'm going to just do plant-based. Because for me, now, well, even before, I've never been one to tell people that everybody has to be vegan. That's the goal. That's never been my goal when opening even my first restaurant in Atlanta. The goal really is to give people an opportunity to know that there's something, an alternative, to give people an alternative. And it's really also to teach people balance in their diet, because I know a lot of unhealthy vegans. So veganism is not the goal. The goal is to be balanced in your lifestyle and your diet, so that when you are eating, you're eating healthy, you're eating according to your body, you're eating according to, you know, what you want.
It's like a lifestyle change.
Exactly. It's a whole
I noticed
thing.
that, like, it can't be, I know at least for me, I can't be like on a diet for, you know what I mean? You just gotta make a lifestyle change.
You gotta like a lifestyle change. Exactly. It just becomes easy. Then you don't really think about it. You just eat.
Yeah.
Cool. We noticed that you're a nutritionist also. How do you incorporate that into your business? Is that something you still do, or is it more just like how you feel?
That's more of like, I used to offer nutritional consultations and things like that, but now, I mean, people don't ask as much. I think they ask more so like recipe questions and things like that, but I can still do nutritional consultations. I just don't really. If people have some kind of ailment or illness, then I'll just let them know what I think, and it's usually the same thing. You got to cleanse your body, you got to eat healthier, you got to drink more water, you got to exercise, you need to meditate. You need to, it's like every grievance is usually the same remedy, and so and it's that balance again, just teaching people how to be balanced in their diet.
I like how you were saying it, because I read Russell Simmons' book a few years back.
Oh yeah, the meditation one.
The meditation book, and he's talking about a lot about vegan and yoga, being a yogi, and it seems like that's all like a marriage.
It is. It's a lot, and it's a peaceful way to live. You know, just like not just eat by eating, but like I do meditate. I meditate every day, and
you do 20 minutes in the morning.
I do 15 to 20 minutes. Yep, every morning. Okay. Yep, and I do it like to usually no music. Like me, I mean, it's so beautiful in Vegas. You can usually just hear the birds in the morning, and that's enough music for me. And so I usually I'll sit outside in the backyard, usually in the sun, because it's great now, and just have some time just to quiet your mind before your day starts. Like I feel like that's the best way to be productive. And then I don't feel like I have to work as hard, because a lot of times things just come because I'm clear. I'm working from clarity. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so.
What would you say your style of cooking is?
That's a good question. The style of cooking, real plants, real food.
There you go.
No, that's
is that your brand? Is that kind of like your brand name?
That's cool. We're playing with that. Hashtag real food.
Yeah, I like that. No, I like that. Yeah, I like it flows. It flows. Yeah.
So that's the style. Like we are literally taking plants and taking whole foods and making them into amazing dishes. And not to poo-poo on any other vegan restaurants, because I love the fact that there are a lot of vegan restaurants here in Vegas now. Yeah. A lot of them are new, and a lot of the owners are very new to veganism as well. So it's a great thing to see, but you get I think you said you went to one restaurant and they served like a lot of veggie burgers and things like that. Yep. And so I'm not really into the processed foods. Like I don't like the Impossible Burger or the the Beyond Meat, but that's just my personal.
Ask, what the heck? What is in that?
It's like tastes like it's soy and gluten, probably some kind of soy and gluten mix, but I don't know because I don't.
It looks crazy, but it's I'm not even gonna lie, it looks crazy. It tastes
just like meat. And and the thing is that I promote those, I'll let people know those brands are great to eat if you're trying to get off meat, but for someone like me who genuinely doesn't like meat, it really grossed me out. The first time I bit into it, I was like, oh
yeah, because when I looked at it, I'm like, what is
so they do the beet.
It tastes good though.
It's good.
It tastes ridiculous.
If you love meat, if you like meat or like a hamburger, those are great substitutes. And so it's just good to see how people are just slowly but surely embracing it. But I think that as far as Simply Pure and my style of cooking, I think we've just upped the game a little bit more. And so we're just going to go ahead and run with real plants, real food, and continue to use that, because that to me incorporates more of the healing side of plant-based foods, which is what I really want to get into.
Because you feel better when you eating
exactly
good.
When you're eating good, when you're eating from the earth, you definitely feel better. So
and you're starting to see it more often, especially in the past, I would say 5 years, more people are starting to transition to the plant-based diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And is that what your recommendation is as far as going to more nutritional lifestyle, I guess I would say?
Yeah, I would say for people who really want to start on the vegan plant-based diet thing just to do one day thing. I don't know really what to call it because it's my lifestyle, you know. So like it's a thing now.
So it's gonna be a thing for me.
Right, it's a thing because people, you know, years ago people weren't really talking about veganism like this. So I suggest people do one day a week. Like I said, maybe start with Meatless Monday or whatever day works best for you, and then just see how you feel. And you're gonna just have to you're gonna have to learn how to cook again. You're gonna have to learn how to recook some things.
A lot of food prep,
but it's okay.
Yes, it seems like a lot of
it's
food prep.
Different. It's not like if you want your food to taste really good, it's going to require a little bit of prep. But there's certain things that you can do that don't require a lot. Like I tell people, use fresh herbs because that just brightens up your food. So automatically, we've gotten away from using like fresh parsley, fresh basil, fresh sage, fresh rosemary. Those are great for foods, and you don't have to use.
Making me hungry right now. That's good. Yeah.
That's what we do. We use like fresh herbs and things like that, so you don't have to use as much salt, maybe, or things like that. So yeah, we just really try to keep it fresh and light and healthy, and but still really, really good.
You definitely sound passionate about it.
I'm very passionate.
Enjoy most about being a chef?
People's reactions to the food. Like you can't.
Because they don't know what it's gonna.
Right, and I mean at the restaurant, and I'm not. Well, let me just say, I was going to say I'm not tooting my own horn, but toot. So at the restaurant, we get so many compliments. It's like we just expect it now. Like it's kind of weird because people come. Like for example, there were 3 women that came in the restaurant the other day I was working, and they couldn't decide really, and then they ordered the 3 things they ordered, and I brought the food out to them. First they were like, and I ordered our lasagna, which is our signature dish. And when I went back in, I told my employee, I said they're coming back. I said when they finish eating, they're going to come back in and tell us how much they like the food. And lo and behold, they came because we just expect, especially when new people come in. And so it's just a testament. But I can say that with confidence because I've been cooking like this for 18 years. Now, if I just started last year cooking, then maybe it would have sounded a little braggadocious. But I put in work, to get that kind of response.
I mean, you've had a lot of people come. You had President Clinton come.
We had President Clinton come more than once.
Is that right?
Than once. He came himself once, but then he
no security.
He has security.
I'm like, what?
That day was a trip.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was interesting because, and when you all come to Container Park, you'll be able to put this more in context. But when he got there, we're located on the first floor of the Container Park. We're probably the first, second, third, fourth store inside the Container Park from the front entrance. It took him 35, I think almost 40 minutes to get from the front entrance to our place.
Just everybody stopping
down. Yeah. People running. I'm talking about running down Fremont because he still pulls up in a motorcade. It's not as massive, but
how did he hear about you? Because he's been a vegan for a while.
He has been. I think he's been like vegan-ish, vegan friendly. Vegan friendly. Yeah. But So how did that happen? I'll just tell this story because it's really a fascinating story, even for me. So in 2000, look, they're all excited. So it's 2016, and I was going through a lot of financial difficulties with the restaurant. So I was raising my son solo, still am. And so in addition to that, I had the restaurant, just trying to run that and keep it afloat. The rah-rah had kind of died down from Container Park. And really, I was just doing too much by myself, when I come down and look at it. And so it was February 2016, President's Day weekend. A couple of days before President's Day weekend, I got an eviction letter from Container Park. So I was like, they were kicking me out. They had been trying for months, had been trying to work with me. Shout out to them because they really did their best. But I mean, I'm holding prime real estate, first floor of Container Park. They're like, look, if you can't pay your rent, then you got to go. Yeah. So they sent they didn't put the eviction notice on the door. They sent me a nice email saying that I had to go. So, I did my whole prayer and crying and, what am I going to do? And embarrassed, some ego there because here I have a second restaurant, it failed. And, and I knew that I would be able to be okay financially. Obviously, I would have been better off just getting a job financially. But, when you're an entrepreneur and you put so much into the business, it's hard to let it go. So really, honestly, when I got that letter, I went through my whole thing for like an hour. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm tired of being tired. I'm tired of worrying. I'm tired of worrying about daycare and all kinds of things. I was like, I'm just going to, get a job or become a personal chef again, and I'll figure it out. And so 3 days later, Bill Clinton came in because what happened, I was working at the restaurant and someone called me from Hillary Clinton's, her campaign manager, and I didn't have time to talk because I was working. At that time, I think I was down to like 4 employees. And so they actually came in. Hillary Clinton's campaign manager came into the restaurant later on and said, "Hey, Bill Clinton wants to come in here tomorrow. We heard about you because Hillary was at a luncheon, and there was a friend of mine who had a place on the third floor. She moved. She had a place on the third floor, and she just happened to be at that luncheon. And Hillary Clinton mentioned that her husband wanted to go to a woman-owned business, preferably small, and my friend was like, I got the perfect place. And so they came. Yeah, so I didn't think they were going to come. So when they came in and told me the night before that he was coming, I was like, yeah, right. Bill Clinton's coming in here tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm already like, I've been working all day, literally, and I already got the eviction notice. So I was just like, okay, we'll see if he shows up. Yeah, we'll see if he shows up. I wasn't overly excited, but I was tired more so than anything. And the next day, he showed up.
Did you see a big change in the business because of that?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
It completely changed the trajectory of the business. Like it went viral.
I was going to say,
it went viral like quick, and like all the way over. Like it went viral nationally. Yeah. So friends were calling me from the East Coast, and it was great.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah, it was like a whirl. That whole weekend was like a whirlwind because he came in, and then 2 days later, Hillary Clinton ordered so much food from us, like we had to shut down. We couldn't even fill her order because we were busy that day, and it was just a good time for us to get that that turnaround. And so it was great. I sat on a panel with Hillary Clinton talking about affordable child care. It was
cool.
It was just perfect. Yeah. So
what would you say, because you're in Container Park, do you get more locals or do you get more tourists or mix of both?
It's a mix of both, definitely. Okay. I'd say almost 50-50. It's kind of hard to say because we always are, we ask a lot, and so
trying to figure out where your base is.
Yeah, but we have a lot of repeats. People who do Postmates and Uber.
Sure.
So we do those as well.
How does that change the business? Sorry to cut you off, but that seems like a pretty...
It's been good for us. I think being in that location. Now, when we want to open a second location, so when we do open the second location, I don't know if we're going to do Postmates and Uber. My business partner wants to. I'm kind of like, because they take a big percentage, but it's good for us because we're in Container Park.
Mainly because of volume, right?
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. And for us now, we're at the stage where with this first location, my goal is to make sure that people taste the food, to get as many people to taste the food as possible. That's my only goal right now, is to make sure people know about us and that so that's why this podcast is important, all of these different media things, because we want to let people know, hey, we're here if you want something that's really good and authentic.
You guys are doing something right.
Thank you.
Because it's word of mouth is exploding.
It's word of mouth. Yeah, we haven't done any advertising. No.
Oh, you have not?
No.
Oh,
everything's word of mouth. It's been just like this traction over the past 5 years. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so the Uber and Postmates has been good for us for that location, definitely.
What would you think is your best strengths in this industry? Because it's such a stressful, crazy. I've heard that being a chef is like one of the most stressful jobs.
That's true. I guess it can be true, but I've never done well with stress. So I've always been like the fun person. And if it's not fun, then I'm not doing it. And it might not be fun for a little while, but it can't be fun. If it's not fun for a little while, that's fine, but it can't be fun for a long time. It can't not be fun for a long time. Sure. So I'm about the fun. I always have been. I'm a big nomad. I travel. I used to travel more than I do now that I have a business and a kid. But but living in other countries, I've always been. So for me, it's not stressful at all. My employees are great. We have an amazing staff. I think the biggest strength is just being a good leader. You got to be a good leader because then you got to have a team. In order to lead a team, you have to be a leader. And so I've just been working on really being a good leader and speaking my truth and letting people know what my expectations are up front, whether that be with my business partners, whoever
That's
it is.
That's extremely important.
It's very important. And I don't compromise. I don't, and I know sometimes my business partner's like, she's like, what? But she's better. I shouldn't say she's better. We're better now, as we grow, because she just kind of knows me. And so, she doesn't get annoyed at the things that she used to get annoyed at anymore, because it's just what it is. So it's good. She's amazing too. Shout out to McKinney. That's my girl. She's changed the trajectory of the business a lot because she's taken a lot off me so that I'm able to come out and do things like this.
You can touch the people,
that's what we discussed too before she moved here. We had an open discussion about what our expectations were, what our roles were. So, because a lot of times people don't do that when they go into business with each other, and then when they get into business, and it's like, oh, but I thought you were, but I thought, and so my role, we said it, that my role was to be out there talking to the people, you know, shaking hands, kissing babies.
Chris. That's what it was. Literally,
so that's your thing, and then you're behind the scenes. I got it already.
He keeps telling me, shut up, I'm the talker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you got to have that. Not both of you all can be. You have to balance each other, and so Bikini's more.
Me and you would be bad, because the first time we talked on the phone was ridiculous.
My goodness. I know. I was like, it was like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to just
I never met you before in my life. It was like talking on the phone.
It was real cool.
So
yeah.
That's
I'm like that. I'm more the social person, and she's like, let me just get on the business side. She's very business savvy. So yeah.
I'm excited for you guys, because
you
got great energy, and what you guys are doing is powerful. Because just to kind of flip it a little bit, I know you're teaching some classes. What's this cannabis infused pop-up?
Yeah, you know, we got to get into my cannabis talk. So okay, the classes. I'll talk about the classes quickly. So we used to offer cooking classes, but I told
because I was about to say I need to take that.
Yeah, I told Bikini I want.
No, I didn't say that.
I want to do those classes.
I didn't say that. I said the regular
cooking classes.
Yeah.
So no, the regular cooking classes, I stopped those because, and the reason why was because I'm like, what is going to have the biggest impact for the amount of time that I have? And so when I was doing the classes, they were only privy to people in Las Vegas, or people in Las Vegas could come. But we got over 18,000 followers on Instagram. Like, our people are from all over. So I was like, we got to do online classes. So I met with a production company a couple weeks ago, and we're putting together a series, like a masterclass series.
That's awesome.
Have you all ever seen masterclass?
Yeah, because Oprah did it. Oprah's done a few.
Not her masterclass. There's another like series you can buy. This thing called masterclass. It's $180 a year, and you have like all these masters in different areas. Like you have Spike Lee for movies. You have Usher
and he
for
teaches. Yeah, he's a
right. You have
professor.
Anthony Bourdain. I saw that on here. You have what's my guy at Hell's Kitchen? Gordon Ramsay.
He's got a bunch of restaurants here.
Right. So you have them teaching you classes, and they're only like 15 to 20 minutes long each segment, and then it talks about, like, for example, I watched Gordon Ramsay break down a fish. Not that I would ever do that, but I watched them do it, and then they kind of have a tutorial, and you can take your own notes. And I just really like the way it was set up. It's very classy, and I learned a lot, and it wasn't like a long class. It was just something short.
That
I could 15, 20 minutes. And so we have some cool ideas around the class that we're going to do here.
That would pop up.
Yeah, we have some really cool ideas of what we're going to do. We're going to highlight some places in Las Vegas and just kind of because we want more people to come to Vegas and know that there's other things to do besides the strip. And I think people are, that's what people are looking for. And so we're going to
it's the diversity.
Definitely record around some areas, and
I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to check that out.
We're excited. So we're working on that. And then the cannabis. So we do a cannabis infused fine dining experience called 4 and 20.
Okay.
And it's 4 and 20. 4 and 20. Yeah, you got it. 4 and 20. You got it.
I got you.
4 and 20 based off the spinoff, of course, of my national holiday. That's the only holiday I celebrate during the year. That and my birthday. Thank you very much. And so I actually had a party. Like, I had a party in my house.
You don't mess around.
No, I'm serious.
Okay.
So I'm an everyday cannabis consumer. I'm very fond of the plant, and more so for the healing benefits and what it's done for me. And so we decided to do these CBD infused dinners just to bring another experience to Las Vegas. So it's called 4 and 20 with Chef Stacey. It's based off of 4 courses. Each dinner is 4 courses, and it's fine dining. So you're seated and you're getting served.
Yeah, I saw it. It looks beautiful.
It's awesome. So. And then it's only limited to 20 guests. So the only people that know where the location is different every month, and the location is only exclusive to the people who have registered. Like, we let them know the morning of, and so it's just, and we don't allow any video recording. We don't allow any pictures to be taken.
It's real VIP.
It's real, and we want people, because we don't want people to dilute the experience for other people. We want to have control over the images that go out, and we don't want a lot of images, but also because we want people to just stay present, and this dinner is more than just serving people good food that's infused with CBD, because CBD really does have a lot of healing benefits.
I'm about to ask you a dumb question. Are they in their high as mess or what?
No, so CBD is
I don't know nothing about CBD. So
no, I'm glad you said it, because there's a lot of people that don't know about CBD. So it's the non-psychoactive part of the cannabis plant, which actually heals with, like, more so the body relaxant. So it heals with arthritis, people who can't sleep, inflammation, all kinds of things. So that's where where CBD comes into, and it's federally legal. So that's why we can do it and advertise it and that kind of thing.
So do you, so as a pop-up, it's a random location. So how do you identify locations? Are you able to share anyone that you've been at previously, or is that out of the question?
No, we're not
have some tight places.
We have that one. So if you go on the website is it's the Roman numeral, so it's IV, like the 4, lowercase IV, and AND20 TWENTY.com. And you'll see there is video there from one of the venues, and that's called the Doyle, so I will give you that one.
Okay.
But no, we scout out, like me and my business partner go, and we go to different locations, and we identify whether or not it's a good one or not. So,
pretty cool.
And so
how's the turnout been for that?
Great. So it was interesting because in the beginning, we first started them in September, October, and we just didn't know how to market it because you can't market cannabis dinners on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and that was like our
it's
main.
Restricted, yeah.
Right, and then people don't know about CBD, so when we're marketing cannabis infused dinners, they're like, "What?" You know, and so
that's why I asked you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so people weren't feeling it at first, and we really were working. Like I was calling all these magazines and just different people, just friends and family. Hey, will you buy a ticket? We just fill up the seats. We were giving away tickets, everything. We gave Angela and TC. We said, please come and experience. But we wanted our friends to come also because they could tell other people.
Sure.
And so we did that for like a few months, and then February, March, we sold out.
Awesome.
So we've been, and then it looks like we're going to sell out this month because we're.
Do you do it once a month, or how do you?
Once a month.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't do it in April. We didn't do it last month only because we had to regroup. We're in team building mode right now, and we were really busy in March, and it was just nuts. And I was like, we gotta build some more help around this. So we didn't do anything in April, but May 23rd.
You're real
is the next
strategic.
one.
I can see.
Yeah,
You're real strategic.
I learned from Jay-Z.
There you go.
Seriously, that's my guy. Like, that's who I like. People are like, oh, Oprah, and I'm like, yeah, Oprah, cool, but
that's I know she's saying something about. That's my wife's favorite.
Who, Jay?
Artist.
She did lift her hand up. So yes. I was gonna say Jay-Z is like I literally, and I've been studying of him a lot more lately. Just going back to like old videos and listening to him speak, and I just really admire. First of all, I'm a music person. That's the only reason why I got into the industry, because I live and breathe music and food.
I'm gonna ask you. We're not gonna get off topic.
Right.
Who won the Jay-Z Nas?
Okay, why are you putting me on the spot?
We're going to say this. We ain't going to get too far into it, but I just got to hear what you're going to say.
We all know that Nas said Nas.
Okay, I was going to see if you was biased.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not. So when that whole thing was going on, and when I first heard Ether, I was like, ooh.
Okay. Because I know your music background and all that. I just got to ask you that.
We can talk about hip hop all day. It's been but Nas definitely won that.
All right, I give you.
But shout out to Jay.
That's cool. So we'll flip it back. What would you say your biggest accomplishment is up to date now with maybe Simply Pure, or now with the Fuse?
Okay, so this might sound like, but like honestly, I'm just happy. You know, that's like, cool. It's not.
That's really cool. Yeah.
I mean, there's things like, of course, the restaurant's doing well. My kids, I love my son. His name is Zion. He's a great kid.
So
he's like my experiment. I'm like, I'm gonna see how dope I can. Thank you. You know, like seriously, cool, I think about that. I'm like, how dope can you be if I just parent you this way instead of that way? And so he's just a.
Our kids are the same age. My son's 4 too. So.
Oh really? Yeah. We gotta have play dates. I love it because he doesn't have a lot of friends. And I was well. This is the thing too. I'm 43.
Are you
so,
really?
Yeah,
Check
with a 4-year-old. So naturally, most of the mothers who have 4-year-olds are a little younger than me. Yeah. And so, but I haven't really developed a lot of relationships, and so
you're so busy.
I am
working your behind off.
But he still got to have friends. You know, he can't just be mean.
Sure.
He does have some friends though, but that's cool.
I mean, what do you do in Vegas? You have any fun at all? Or
I do. So my definition of fun. I used to travel a lot, you know, so, and I lived in West Africa even for 2 years. I lived in Ghana for 2 years. I moved here from Ghana, so I was living, I've lived a lot of places, so that's a whole nother conversation, but I was living in Ghana for 2 years, and I think that was one of the best times like that I've had, and I just enjoy like being with friends, so I make more, that's why I had the little 4 and 20 party thing. It wasn't really a party, it's more of a get together, mostly with my friends who smoke. Right. So we got together, it was real cool, but I I just enjoy my time with me too.
Yeah.
Like I'm always out. I'm always talking to people. I'm on the phone a lot. So when I want to relax and chill, like I just like going into my room and just kind of retreating and maybe watching Netflix. And I love to travel, of course. I like the beach. So, so every now and then we'll go to Cali. But honestly, I'm having fun with my work, and I'm having fun doing this, and I know that we're in building mode. Yeah. So I don't...
Building your brand is
we're building the brand, so I'm not really as focused more so on social as I am on building the brand right now, and then there'll be time for it.
What would you say is your favorite restaurant in Vegas other than Simply Pure?
Wow. My favorite restaurant?
Or top, I should say.
That's a good question. There's a few. Can I name a few?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so there's Potts.
Like
E-Man,
Potts,
you like Potts? E-Man, she's just...
That's the Egyptian
place.
Off of Charleston?
Yep.
Off of Charleston.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet.
Rainbow.
Yeah, I got to check. Okay.
Yeah, she's just a sweetheart. She
good
really
people.
is. And good people. And I've never had street Egyptian food. So I was like, oh, this is, it's good.
Okay,
it's really good. Like I said, I like sweet tomatoes. So,
sweet tomatoes?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like sweet tomatoes because it's just like I can go there and people who eat meat can go there. I always feel satisfied and healthy, and the soups are good and the salad is good. I mean, you can't beat the salad. I mean, you mess up the salad, it's your fault. If the salad's nasty, you can't blame the restaurant. Yeah. And so I like there, and then it's just a variety, so it's a good place for me to take my child, and he likes it. And so there, and then there's a place called Nataya's, which is a Thai restaurant. You've been there?
Oh, yeah, I've been in Nataya's.
I like Nataya's.
Off Rampart.
Yeah, I like
That's kind of a hole in the wall. A lot of people don't know about that spot.
They don't know about that spot.
Nice
and I live over there, and I discovered her like years ago from a client, and I love her food.
Yeah, I know exactly. I actually got to go back there. I forgot. You haven't been there?
No, I haven't been there.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Yeah. Real good spot.
Chef Kenny's Asian is also really good. Have you been to his sushi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard
so let me tell you.
People talked about Chef Kenny, right?
Yeah, his food is good, and this is the thing. I can usually figure out people's food. Like if I eat it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can make this. Chef Kenny with that sushi, that's a whole nother, it would take me years and years and years to figure out how to make sushi. Sushi's a whole nother animal anyway, and he makes all these amazing sauces, and the sushi's so beautiful, and it's all plant-based.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
It's a plant-based sushi restaurant.
I've been wanting to check that out.
I was like, Chef Kenny, we need to partner because I'm not going to learn how to make this, so we need to figure out how to do something.
Speak that in the universe, man.
Yeah,
make that happen.
Man, we'll see.
So coming up on like kind of our last couple of quick questions for you, what would you say some of your personal goals are, and then where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Personal goals. Open a second location, definitely,
okay.
And to expand the cannabis.
Do you know where you would move? Where you would do that?
We have a few places we're looking at now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're looking at LOIs and contractors, and we're in the process of doing that now. Attorneys.
Come on the Southwest.
Yeah, everybody says that. So we have a couple of places. So we'll let you know how that goes. But definitely to expand more restaurants.
Sure.
I like the restaurant business. It's not as hard as
you always hear it's crazy.
I think that again, it just boils down to leadership. Like you got to be. You can't panic. You can't panic when times get rough. Like I used to panic when times got rough, and then they just got rougher. Mm-hmm. And now when times get rough, I just be like, for real, like what were we gonna do? I'm just gonna have to keep pushing. I love your attitude. Yeah, and we went through some rough times this past summer. I mean, this past winter. First with Simply Pure, I was just taking a salary, but now I got my business partner. They bought a house here, and she came from a 6-figure income. Wow. So we're supporting now 2 families with this place, and we've been able to do it, but there have been some lean months, with staffing and just all that. So, through these months, I'm just like, we just got to keep the eyes on the prize. And the eyes on the prize is the $1 million business that we want to turn this into. So eventually we want to have umbrella of restaurants. We don't know how we're going to structure it yet, if we want to franchise, if we want to do different things, but we definitely want to expand in the restaurant business, and we want to expand in the cannabis industry for sure. Because I've been experimenting with THC, cooking with THC, and so I've been cooking with THC from scratch, not going to the dispensary and buying something and just putting your food. Like I actually took the flour, ground it up, put it in the oven. Like it was a 8-hour process for me to make the cannabis oil, but it came out.
Oh, you ain't messing around where it's coming from.
I bought it. Yeah, I bought it from. I have a source. Have a source. It's a young. African American guy. I won't say his name, but he came out with he constructed his own strain.
Wow.
He has his own strain, and he has his growers, and it's amazing. And it's good.
That's awesome.
Killing it. Well, you in the perfect place, Vegas.
I know,
You're in the perfect place.
Yeah.
We on the move.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's good to be in this space. I was just saying that Vegas is a good place for us to be now. And so our goal, like in the near future, maybe not in the next 5 years, but now is team building, and then also making sure that we're a household name in Vegas, because people still don't know about us. People still haven't, like, the fact that you haven't eaten there is good. Mm-hmm. That means that we still have.
We're coming there. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, no, that's good. But it's good.
If you were open later tonight, I was going there tonight.
Well, I like when I hear people who say they haven't been, because that means that we still have more work to do, even though we're still doing good. Because I guarantee this, I tell my staff, and McKinney knows this also, is that we just got to get the food in people's mouths. Once they taste it, we don't have to worry about them coming back. It's done. So if it's done, if it's like that, I have that kind of confidence. Sure. So it's like,
well, you got Clinton and all these people.
Yeah, all these repeat people coming.
So,
Usher came a couple of times. Usher came a couple of times. So
if they're coming back a couple of times, it's good.
Yeah, well, Usher, he comes back. He comes every time. So he's been in the restaurant twice, which I super appreciate, because the first time he came, it was cool. The second time was like almost a little mayhem. First time he came on New Year's Day last year.
Wow. So
it wasn't as busy in the container. It was actually New Year's Day, like in the night. So it was like January 1st at 6 p.m. So people weren't really out.
Everybody was all hungover from the night before.
Right. Yeah. Everybody was kind of chill. So he was able to just chill for a couple hours and just hang out. But the second time he came like on a Friday, like 3. And I told him before, I was like, look, you sure you want to come? So yeah, it was cool. But he's called when he comes in town. Usher, when he comes in town, he'll have his assistant call. And they'll usually come and swing by and pick up something. And they called me this New Year's too, this past New Year's. They were like, hey, we're in town, but I wasn't here. And I don't know if he necessarily wanted to come while I wasn't there. Because I usually am able to set things up, because I have to, when he comes, our place is so small, I have to let Container Park know, security know, even though he has his own security, like no pictures.
This is what's going on.
Yeah, all that stuff. And so I wasn't there to really set that up, so they just got their food. But it's cool. It's fun, to be. So we want to be like the leading vegan spot in Las Vegas. When people land, when people would be like, where should I go to stop, and then what's a good experience? I want to do something cool, then come to 4 and 20.
That's excellent.
So those are the goals, and then team building and raising the kid. So a lot of stuff going on.
We're excited about your future, and we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah, of course. I love it.
We have to come back out again. Yeah,
y'all have to come over to the house, and we can all
make it happen.
Yeah, especially this summer. So I'm committed to having more fun this summer.
Okay, let's do that.
And that includes having more people over to chill. We got a pool. We can all
okay. We'll take you up on that offer, so we'll make that happen. So tell people where they can reach you at in the restaurant. Just verify the address and all that stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So we are located in downtown Container Park in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. The address is 707 Fremont Street, and we're in Suite 1310. Okay. It's on the first floor. Our social media handle is at Simply Pure LV for everything across the board. It's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then our website is simplypurelv.com. So everything is Simply Pure LV.
Awesome. Yeah,
if you just Google Simply Pure LV, the address will pop up. Everything will pop up. Yeah.
Awesome.
So it's pretty cool.
Well, we'll have your interview out at thevegascircle.com, and we're on all the platforms. So
awesome. Okay.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.